It's time to break the menopause taboo. Join me, Sarah Parish, and hear real women explain menopause. So it has literally stripped your confidence, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's changed me as a person.
God, that's so frightening, isn't it? As a working woman, you know, I don't know who works and who doesn't, but brain fog is a really dangerous thing. You know, if you're a professional, you're out at work and you cannot hold the room anymore.
So I have meetings with people, that sort of thing, and at a very high level. And you're sitting there, you have to give an opinion, and your opinion is here, but it doesn't come out of here.
Yes.
And literally something else comes, and then your confidence goes completely.
Yeah. I always think it's the lesser things that I find sort of quite fascinating. Things like flaky skin, dry scalp, gum disease, weight gain, all of these things that we hadn't, ulcers, we have no idea. I had no idea about these things. Has anybody felt any of these symptoms that I've just said?
I had a lot of electric shocks.
Did
and
you?
I realised that was a symptom. So yeah, in the evening, everything I touched, whether it was family or animals or like everything.
The physical impact of menopause for women, I think, can be devastating. You know, to lose your hair, to gain weight, to all of these things that you have no idea what's going on, and however hard you try, you can't stop it, I think, can be very devastating, can't it?
And I think that weight gain is something that not a lot of people really understand. I put on 2.5 stone at the time, and I put on as much weight. I filled those spaces that I had when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And I've met other women who put on 4 stone, and it's just recognising your nutrition, exercise, what's going on in your body, your lifestyle.
Because it's something that I certainly noticed. I gained weight in very unusual parts of my body. You know, my bust, for example, I gained a lot of weight there, around my arms, around. Has anybody else suffered from weight gain at all?
Yes, I have, probably 3 sizes bigger than what I normally am.
And that's from the beginning of the menopause to where you are now?
It's just gradually got more and more and more.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to get rid of it, isn't it?
I felt mine was across my back as well, really odd place. It was like none of my bras fit.
Let's talk about sex, because it's something that is the taboo. You know, nobody really wants to talk about. It changes dramatically during the menopause. I know my libido, I've completely lost my libido. I just don't even want to think about it. And that becomes a problem in your relationship, doesn't it? It becomes a real problem because it's very difficult to explain as well to your partner. Well, is anybody else having any problems in the bedroom department?
I didn't want to go and get a cream or a treatment because I felt a failure. Whereas as a beauty therapist for 35 years, if you came to me with dry skin, I'd prescribe you a cream.
Yeah.
So why the difference? But I actually felt, oh my goodness, if I go get a lubricant or a moisturiser specifically for that, I'm failing in my role as a woman, if you like.
I mean, this sort of moves us on to the mental health side of the menopause, which I find more interesting, really, and how crippling that can be for women. The lack of, you know, the loss of confidence that we all feel because of the certain symptoms that we've had. I mean, now I know that you suffered, didn't you? Really, really badly. Do you want to tell us about that?
So I sort of, last September my periods just completely stopped, and from that I went into full having menopausal symptoms. Possibly been having symptoms for the last 5 years, but not really linked everything together. I just wasn't feeling like 100% myself. But from September, my symptoms were just getting gradually worse, to the point where I was on the edge of having a mental breakdown, I think. So like, take me back now to sort of February time this year, I couldn't have sat here and had a conversation like I would.
What were you like? Tell us what I mean, you know, how did it manifest itself?
I was completely like a shell of my normal self. I was completely withdrawn from my family, from my friends. I didn't want to go out. I was struggling with concentrating at work. I was struggling talking because of the brain fog. I couldn't get my words out like I'm doing now. And the depression was just going gradually worse, along with the anxiety. So I felt anxious constantly.
Yeah.
It was just a feeling that was there, no matter what time of day. I could get up in the middle of the night and the feeling was just there.
And that anxiousness, how did that make you feel? I mean, you felt dreadful?
You constantly feel sick, you feel like your insides are shaking and you're just on edge. You're just on edge, you just don't feel right at all.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, I got to the point where I'd said to my partner, I just don't want to be here anymore.
Oh my.
And I wasn't suicidal, I didn't want to die, I just wanted to be somewhere else and feel better.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel at that point that I was ever going to feel well again.
Yeah.
I couldn't see the light, if you like, at the
Yeah.
end of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know, and I left it too long to get help.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why I'm here today, because I don't want other women to go through what I did and leave it.
My husband said it was like living with a stranger. I interviewed him post-menopause. I said, I need to know what you felt like, what it was like living with me when I was going through all this horrible stuff. And he said, menopause is like a hurricane, it's dangerous and deadly. And I thought, and got all goosey again now. And I had a list of questions I wanted to ask, and I was streaming with tears when he was describing this woman that he had been living with, and it wasn't me.
Why? What did he say? What was he saying?
Well, I was nasty, I was horrible, I was so dismissive, argumentative, aggressive, always breaking down in tears. We'd have a conversation which would become a row, and I'd break down in tears, couldn't find my words, just can't find the right vocabulary to describe what's going on.
I want to talk about how MenoFriend has helped us and got us through some very, very dark times.
It's definitely helped tremendously.
Has it? And you know that it's that.
Oh, well, I don't take anything else.
Yeah.
So it's got to be.
Yeah.
I take MenoFriend and it literally stopped my hot flushes within 2 days.
That's incredible.
Because I read an advert where somebody had quoted that it stopped their hot flushes, and I was like, yeah, right, okay,
Yeah.
but I'm going to try this because I'm fed up of changing the bedding in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And yes, it worked, and the brain fog lifted with it, and just a general well-being feels better, and the difference is fantastic.
That's brilliant.
It really is. My hair, because like you were saying, I've got a lot of hair, but it became thin. But my hair feels thicker again. I feel a bit more like a version of me.
Yeah. Brilliant.